Welcome. Outlaw! Stone Cold Loki! Welcome to 7 Kinds of Mischief! Yeah.
I swear that's never going to get old. Never.
Yeah. Doing that live is like, man, I love doing that live. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. No, that was not pre-recorded. I did do that live. Unmute my mic during the intro. Yeah.
Welcome back from the long break.
The Mad Doctor. Oh, shit. We did have a long break. We were gone for like 2 weeks.
Yep.
So we were out. That drive, man. That drive last week killed me. We didn't get in till like after 10. It was over a 12-hour drive last Thursday. Got into Nick's and I was only up for like an hour, I think, after that. And then I was out. I was asleep. Got up that next morning, went and got breakfast, then drove another 4.5 hours to Nashville. And then that long trek, that 14.5-hour drive back Sunday. It was nuts.
Nah, you had a good crowd there. Looked like everyone had a blast. That's very cool.
Everybody did. Everybody had a really good time. It was really cool. I didn't get a chance. I don't think I got a chance to tell you though. And I'll just tell everybody here because I really don't think you'll mind. Adega sent me a message while we were all hanging out. He was like, really wish I could have been there. Would have loved to hang out with Tron and get to talk to him. And I went over and I was like, buddy, read this. And he looked at it and he just smiled. Dude, he smiled. I showed him the message you sent and was like, Adega, man, really wishes he could have been here and got a chance to talk to you and hang out with you. And he was just smiling ear to ear. Best smile on YouTube.
Some of you know I have a special needs son, and he's severely handicapped. He could move better than Tron, but he doesn't speak and doesn't use communication devices because he's stubborn and he likes to do things on his own, even though he still needs help with everything. But you know, they're both. Tron might be a little older, but just hanging around those people. Any of you who've had a chance to deal with people that have special needs, there's a spirit about them, especially the ones that are cognitively there. The fight that's in them, the trust and the love for humanity, you don't get that anywhere else. They're not just special because of their weakness. They're special because of their mental strengths. And if I ever had the chance to hang out with him, it would be a great pleasure. And I'm glad you did.
Oh, it was great. It was absolutely great getting to hang out with everybody, especially Tron. But yeah, man, we really wish you'd been there. I know you couldn't. I don't know why. And it's, I love you. We all love you, and everybody said hello and how you doing. And what are we doing tonight? What are we doing tonight?
Well, you might find, and I'm going to put this out there. Hey, Robert,
What is up, Robert Pearson? He says, I'm going to need to love you all and leave you as alcohol has invaded my central nervous system, resulting in my current level of meh and F. So good night to you all. To all a wait, who are you? Go to bed. Go to bed.
You
You
should see
crazy
Big.
bastard. You crazy bastard. Go to bed.
You should see Big. He's almost done with it.
And Scott Westbrook, I got to meet Scott Westbrook. It's funny. I don't know if I told you about this, Adega. Me and Mike were standing there talking, and someone was like, Loki? And I turned around, and there's Scott Westbrook. And I'm like, yeah, how'd you? He's like, oh, the voice. The voice. I heard the voice. And I was like, holy shit. How are you doing? So we hung out, and it was great getting to see everybody. It was absolutely great getting to see everybody.
I have found someone that has your voice. I have found someone.
Really?
He does podcasts. He's a historian, ancient historian for Middle East Jewish history.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll get a link for you sometime. You can listen to your own voice.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
No, but like I was saying, I am going to be a little thin this month because some of you know at the end of the month I have not one but two book releases coming on May 30th, and I'm preparing a little bit of a grand celebration for that. Any of you who want to contact me who've read Evolution, let me know. I would be happy to have you on to be honest and tell what you think of my writing. I don't want anybody lying about things because I know my stuff is awesome. I've been told enough by really good people in business and books and well-read, and I am excited to give this to you.
In fact, we have a little clip here. You want me to go ahead and play it?
Yeah, if you want.
All right. Boom! I love the music. Dun 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 is almost here. Blood Witch! All right.
Yeah. Each one of those
Yes.
symbols represents a part of magic, except for the cross, which represents the Blood Witch family, because there is not just one. And they also represent a different book. So, there's going to be 5 books in the series. I'm working on number 3 right now.
Speaker of the Dead asks, where do we buy these amazing books?
It's coming up, Kindle, end of the month. And Speaker, the Blood Witch, I would like to have you on my live stream on the 30th. It'd be a Memorial Day. If you're not driving, you got time, or if whatever you do, I need you to come on and tell your honest opinion about the Blood Witch. I'm going to hold you on the hook.
There you go. There you go. Can't say no to that, Speaker.
Yep.
He never asks for much. He doesn't. And when he does, God, we're there. We are absolutely there.
All right. Let's move on from that stuff. I just wanted to cover some things. There was, not too long ago, a couple times I gave stories, and one of them I talked about a video that was delivered to me on the sly. I don't remember how I got it. I don't know why it disappeared, because I could never see it again, even if I wanted to, which I didn't. But the gist of it was someone who was innocent in life had been destroyed, literally, all for the pleasure of very, very evil people. And some of you will know there was a video, and the reason why I'm bringing this up this week is I think, was it last night? Maybe it was the night before. Whenever Snowdub was doing his stream, and he mentioned the shows that we do. He likes our show, and brought up something. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to go back and touch bases on it, just so you can see that these people aren't hiding things anymore. But before we get to that part, we're going to start off with the mild stuff, the MK Ultra mind control, different types of things. And I gave Loki a bunch of series of pictures. These are readily available. Some of them are starting to disappear. But now this one is not because of what I'm saying. I just want to show you what people do. This was this year's gala. Everyone knows Elon. That's his mom, was a very famous. She even still, I think, does some CoverGirl stuff. She's a pretty lady. And this is where they showed up. Now, there's another picture going around saying this was Elon at the gala. It's the one with the white jacket. If you can grab that. That one. And you could say it says Elon's jacket. And if you look up the picture, it says the Gala 2022, but he wasn't wearing that. I don't even think this was him. But it says New World Order on the back of that jacket. If that was something very old, possibly, but it wasn't this year. So people like to throw things out to throw you off the track, to make you believe good people are bad people are good. It's very, very hard to tell nowadays because the lines have been blurred so much on purpose, so you don't know which way is up, and you keep fighting amongst each other. But these other pictures will show you who the real weirdos are. Pick one. Like this. Those of you who know, that is not an innocent image. That is basically just exactly what you think. It's a helmet that represents both satanic worship and the flames of hell. We know where she comes from.
That's horse face, right?
Yep.
That's yeah. I thought that was her.
Sex in the City.
Yep.
There were several gowns which I didn't bring in, which were you can look them up. They're representing bleeding out blood flow of people. They're massive, and it looks like flowing blood. It's done on purpose. They say, oh, it's just a big fluffy red dress. No, it's not. The only reason why I say that is because it's consistent over and over and over and over again. These people don't want to hide it anymore. Go ahead to the next one. This one shows the lines blurred between man and woman. The men are in dresses, except for the far guy on the right, who is in a servant's suit. The women are in the pants for the most part. The one on the left, she's in basically a man's suit, but she has a skirt on. But it throws everything into, who are your leaders? Who do you look up to? And it blurs the line, throws them backwards. Interesting thing, you look at the second guy from the left with the two different socks. I'll let you guys figure out what that means. But think of more MK Ultra and Alice in Wonderland type stuff. But there it is. They're putting it right in your face.
Yes, #. That is Oscar Isaac. And thank you, Chris. That's the only way I can remember is calling her Horseface. I know it's Sarah something, but yeah.
Okay, go ahead and move on to the next one. There's some real sacrilegious stuff that they have, like this. We have False Angel and Pope, the Illuminati shirt, the back of the one shirt. Yeah, you would think, but no, that's this is our people that say that they are our betters, that they are our leads. Each one of these people here are slaves to the system. I doubt they had much choice in the things that they wear, even though they say that they do. These are all puppets. They have been, bent, a little lady mist, bent to other people's will, and they gleefully do it because they think they're being rewarded with money and fame, but in reality, they're just slaves to the system. All right, next one, please.
All right. Oh, that's the Elon one.
Yeah. Here is more Alice in Wonderland and the one eye thing. You could see all of them are very twisted, like the hidden mask. He has his, you take the mask off and you see the...
Is that the Ezra Miller?
It looks like, I didn't do enough research to find out for sure. I don't even know if he was invited to it. I don't think so, though, because his skin's too dark. I don't know who that is. but I didn't investigate it enough. Um, and then, of course, the Mad Hatter on the far right with the one eye, meaning she's also a slave, the checkered black and white. Uh, they're telling you right up front exactly what this is. I wish we had um, Thoth in here, Lord Thoth, because he deal. That's why I call him a hero. If anybody ever sees me in chat where I greet him as a hero, he deals with this stuff, rescuing children from this crap. That's his job. But I didn't say that. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's see. I think we're getting into the weird crap
Yes.
now.
These are, I believe, because you look at the one on the left, I think these are just supposedly works of art, and there aren't people behind them.
I would hope not.
Right, right. Not, I mean, I don't think they're like costumes painted on and everything, because the one on the left would be either a child in there or someone who's severely anorexic. But you could see the damage that is done. The reason why I bring it up, I want you to remember that first thing I was talking about, how they brutalized a child. Go ahead and go to the next one. There have been reports coming out lately. You could see the eyes out of the head, the skinned alive type thing, from several survivors that there are places where this is going on. I've had reports from various different sources that limbs, and some of you probably heard of that, limbs being removed so that they can be abused without them fighting. But the idea is to torture until their adrenaline is so high it can be harvested. Go ahead to the next one. Things like removing the lips and the eyes and then doing vile things.
Why? Well, what is the point of that? Honestly, what is the point of having that at a gala like that? What is the point of that? Just to
They're not hiding it.
disfigure?
They're just not hiding it. Say, hey, you're part of the club. You've seen this. You've done this to people. This is a reminder of who you're supposed to be or what we can do to you. It's mind control because they're all slaves there, in my opinion. I wouldn't say all of them, but I would say a lot of them are.
That's the end of your pictures.
There should be one more.
Uh,
It's probably the most important one. I have to go to your Twitter.
Okay, give me just a second. Hold on. So that, come back. I don't know what. Let me see.
Because the next one is the one that is most accurate.
Oh, I got them. Oh, the one with the like really weird looking eyeballs?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I did miss that one because that was the first one you sent to me. Sorry guys, give me just a second, it's coming. There it is. Weird.
Unfortunately, if you remove those crystals that they put in the eyes and you take the human eyes and put them on either side of the head with a split down the middle, I saw the video of them doing that to a child. That exact same thing.
That's nuts.
Take the face off and scare the child with it as much as they can before they harvest. This is the real deal.
Lady Miss asked, does Netflix really have a new show with little boys 10 years or younger in drag competition? Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Why do you think Netflix is bombing right now in its stock prices are bombing? Because they know now. Everybody knows it wasn't just, cuties. It was everything. It's everything. This is what you get when you let people like Obama and the insane far left run your streaming service. So,
but this is why we build our own culture, because the more they make this commonplace, the more acceptable it becomes, and we cannot allow it. And I'm with Psycho Dwarf, where he says the paladin in him wants to sharpen something.
yes.
Dave Bob, I know, wants to load something. But yeah.
Pat S says Loki and Adega. Is there anything we can do? Hard to just sit by.
Well, right now, learn about it, and then we go out and reject it wholeheartedly. You don't buy into it. You don't accept the licks, get away with it. They present it normal to you. There is no shame in standing up for what is right, even though they try and shame you and say you're not accepting. Oh, you're too hypercritical. No. What it is we are human with emotions, with compassion towards our fellow human, who will not allow representations of death, of torture, and abuse of anyone of any age to become commonplace.
That's right. Absolutely,
I've
positively
written,
correct.
yep, I've written in the Blood Witch there's some, it's not as horrible as what you just seen, but I've written some things that are rough. But it's the outcome. It's the people overcoming the evil. That's the point of it. Again, like with all of my books, the people that are in there represent people that I've known to one degree or another and how they've overcome horrible things or horrible people. But that's my challenge to all of you is don't accept it. Don't pay for it.
Don't buy into it.
This for 2 years. Yeah. It's just, you can't. We can't allow this. It's someone mentioned the Hunger Games. Where do you think to be?
I will not fund it. I will not pay for Netflix. I will not pay for any of this shit that's going on. I won't pay Disney. I don't even want to watch Disney shows. I did watch Doctor Strange today, but that was a arg moment. And you know what? It wasn't great. I don't even think it was that good. I think it was kind of So, I'm just to the point where I'm like, you know, why am I even bothering? Same thing with Paramount, CBS. I'm not going to review Star Trek. I'm not going to watch what these people are doing. I probably won't watch next season's Halo because this season's been so bad. It's just been crap. Crying in hallways. Same thing with Star Trek. So I'm just not. I'm not going to give these people any props when this is the kind of crap they're up to. This is the kind of crap they're doing. They're coming out with crap. They're calling you all kinds of names. They're calling us all kinds of names, and they're pointing a finger at us and telling what horrible people we are when they are out doing crazy, insane shit like this. One of the guys over at NBC just got picked up by one of those predator lookout squads. Why? Because he was talking to an underage kid and got caught. I'm just not going to do it. So.
No, exactly.
And I won't promote it. I won't promote it. I will not promote it. I will not be, Doctor Strange review. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. I'm holding to my no Disney. Disney doesn't get any press from me besides when they do something really messed up, and I'm going to call them out on it. They will not get no good press from me. They will not get, and I'm honest about that. They will not get any reviews. They will not get any props. They will not get any, oh my God, I can't wait till this show comes out. They're not going to get any of that from me, period.
The animation may not look as good. The soundtracks may not quite sound as good. The acting may be not quite up to par. But there are better sources of entertainment. There are better places to get your music. There are better things to read and better people to be around than these degenerates. The old word was perverts, but they are sick.
And Dash Attack with the $5 super chat says normalizing snuff and gore porn isn't going to fly with normies. And Halo season 2 will get a new showrunner. I do know that. I do know that the two showrunners that worked on season 1 quit before season 1 even released. So I knew they were looking for someone new. There is a chance of course correction. It's possible, but they've done a lot of damage with what they've done. But it is possible. I will give you that. Disney lost all my goodwill. I'm not talking about any of their stuff on my channel. Absolutely, positively agree.
Good for you.
And thank you. Thank you so very much for the super chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Thank you. So, if you want to go over this with me, you're more than welcome to. I know usually we do like things kind of separately, but I wanted to share something with you guys. This has been one of my like, I don't know, I wouldn't call it an obsession, but every once in a while I check to see if, anything's changed, if they've learned anything, if anything's come up, because the FBI and the police department often hold stuff. So there'll be evidence that you know absolutely nothing about that, something might come to light. And this is a case file for the Black Dahlia. Her name was Elizabeth Short. They wanted information between dates January 9th and 15th of 1947. She was found murdered. According to FBI archives, it was early morning of the 15th of January 1947 when Elizabeth Short's body was found. Her body was found by a mother and her young child. Due to the position of the body, the mother initially mistook it for a mannequin. That's because it was cut in half. The body was cut.
Remember this. This has to deal with that hotel, same place where.
Yes.
The Beatle. Dang it.
Yes.
John Lennon was killed.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Elizabeth Short was not identified until the LA Police Department requested the help of the FBI. After 56 minutes, the FBI linked the fingerprints of the victim to their records. She had applied for a job as a clerk at the commissary of the Army's Camp Cook in California, January 1943, and was arrested 7 months later by Santa Barbara police for underage drinking. As a result, the FBI had her mugshot on record and released it to the press. This led to the case being more infamous in popular culture and her face being more recognizable than other victims from similarly prominent cases in popular memory. Also, this stood out, in my opinion. I believe that the killer wanted this and actually changed their MO up enough to where he got national coverage because of the FBI, because of what he did. I think this was all about getting in the papers and getting his face out there and some self-gratification. But that's just my opinion. I am a novice. I am not a professional at this. That's just my opinion. Elizabeth Short was dubbed the Black Dahlia by the press due to Elizabeth's fondness for wearing sheer black clothes and the Blue Dahlia movie being released at the time. She was struggling financially. There's actually a piece of newspaper that talks about this. The autopsy of Elizabeth Short's body has been found detailed in the Encyclopedia of Unsolved Crimes by Michael Newton in 2009. Two sets of injuries that are important to note. Firstly, there was a 3-inch lateral deep laceration from the right corner of her mouth and an opposite 2.5-inch lateral laceration from the left corner of the mouth. Someone put a smile on her face. Someone jokered her like Leto.
And put a pictures I just showed you earlier too.
Yeah, and put a freaking smile on her face. They firmly believe this was done while she was alive. What was important to note about these injuries was surrounding tissue displayed. Discoloring, the presence of bruising due to these injuries would suggest they were before she died. Perimortem. She was still alive when they occurred. Unlike the mutilation on her face, low to the right side of her head, which they said was the cause of death, evidence from signs of localized hemorrhage. There was also signs of hemorrhage in her corpus callosum due to the concussive force rebounding her skull from the impact. That means her brain was bruised. Quite clear that the blow to the head was used to kill Elizabeth, but the lacerations to her face were not necessary. In other words, blow to the head was part of the MO, but the lacerations were the signature. That was his calling card I'm going to put a smile on your face. Unless they were intentionally there to misdirect. I don't think they were. I think this is what he wanted. Her body was left somewhere very public. It was a display killing. He wanted to see this in the paper. He wanted gratification for this. At least that's my opinion. The fact she was alive when her face was mutilated would probably indicate a sadistic individual because the victim was alive. As a stretch, it might indicate the killer needed her to be alive during this particular event. However, if the blow to the head came before the lacerations, they have in fact been performed as she died or was unconscious. From this point onward, the murderer mutilated the bodies, evidenced by lack. Her right breast was removed. She was cut in half. Certain organs, very, very private organs, were mutilated. No bodily fluids were found inside of her in any of it. But her backside had signs that someone had done something to her. Body was thoroughly scrubbed, no blood on it. I'm of course trying to not give direct detail because we're on YouTube doing a stream. The murder was felt to be committed indoors with access to water and drainage facilities. There may have been medical equipment present. I'm betting there was, because I'm betting this person was in the medical field in some way, shape, or form. The brush was likely used in the cleanup. They had some medical or dissection training, possibly even a medical student. I think it was someone in the medical field. I don't think it was a student. But that's just me, again. Therefore, the body can be determined to have been moved to a secondary location it was found in. As the torso and legs were found together, it was not a forensic countermeasure or for transportation. Instead, the severing of the body would have served a purpose with meaning to the murder, as it was posed publicly. Perhaps it was to shock those who found it. More than one victim. Here's where things get interesting. This is the serial killer hypothesis. All this could very well point to a lust murder. Most likely serial because of the level of organization and careful postmortem. This was not his first ball game, ladies and gentlemen. He made no mistakes. He wasn't testing his ability. It wasn't a first shot. He wasn't doing this to see if he could do it. This was something that he had done before. It would also suggest that the killer is older than most medical students, which to me, I think he was either not a mortician, but a oh my God, Adega, help me out here. The guy who embalms
mortician?
Not a mortician, but the guy at the morgue.
I offered that job in Bullhead. I said, I'm a chiropractor. I don't want to do that. But they didn't have any doctors that were competent there. Just it hit my head. I know what you're saying.
No, not an embalmer. The guy who goes through the body and
forensic coroner. That's it.
Coroner. Thank you. Coroner. Could have been a coroner. Could have been a forensics examiner. It very well may have been a doctor, a surgeon, that liked to do. Someone mentioned Dexter. I was actually thinking of Dexter's brother. But if anybody who's ever watched Dexter knows his brother, did, the, attachment, the limb replacement stuff. Anyway. I can't think of the name of it right now, but that's what I was thinking. So, grisly LA murder similar to sex slaying of 7 San Diego women. This intriguing newspaper article was found by the FBI vault attached to publicly available documents relating to the Black Dahlia case. It suggests that some law enforcement officers were hopeful about linking Miss Short's murder to several other sexually motivated murderers. However, there's some discrepancy between the modus operandi of this serial killer compared to the killer of Miss Short. Law enforcement believe these killings were related despite numerous disparities in the victim type, age, MO, even if they were purposely posed or not. For example, it could be suggested Louise Tuber was purposefully staged Furthermore, reports often link murders of a similar nature between 1930 and 1938 to an unknown suspect dubbed the Coast Fiend Killer. They also described him as a sexual sadist who tortured all the victims anti-mortem. That means post-death. This seems quite unlike the aberrant sexual behaviors of the culprit in the Black Dahlia case, who mutilated and potentially assaulted Miss Short after death. Not to mention some of the murders did not have a secondary location. They were killed where the body was found. Instead, it is perhaps more pertinent to link solved and unsolved cases that display similar characteristics to that of a Black Dahlia case. For example, those that appear highly methodical. This guy knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. Show mostly post-mortem mutilations with focus in similar areas and evidence of sexual activity. The victim being dumped at a secondary location is probably also likely. If the FBI is correct about the killer having a place which has access to water, drainage, medical equipment, which is why I think it might be a coroner, it could mean the primary location of the crime is a similar location which offers long guaranteed privacy or a fairly large vehicle. This might suggest potentially related murders to be clustered in California. Although it is possible to make these suggestions, there are a number of key unknowns that make it particularly difficult to ground much of this speculation, most of which comes from there is only one known victim. Any patterns that can be extracted may only be representative of this particular event. Conversely, if there are multiple victims, it is known that serial killers evolve and change their methods and fantasies as they kill, making it particularly hard to identify potentially related cases. This leads to the point that having too strict a criteria when searching for related cases may result in missing out potentially related cases. Lastly, the ambiguity surrounding the primary location makes it hard to be certain whether similar murders would occur in the same geological location or follow similar methods of murder.
Now, this, you guys will probably think I'm hang on these conspiracy things, but I see connections and ties and different things where most people think I'm nuts, which is fine. I don't care. However, I know at that hotel where she was dumped, there had been over the years several, including John Lennon. And then there was I'd have to go back. It was the time I did the thing on Rosemary's Baby. Several murders at that place on high satanic Sabbath days, which fit with Dahlia as well. And having tortured the vivisection, probably alive, and the mutilations fit with the images that I showed, or you showed earlier. In my opinion, I think the person knew and had done this many times before because it was a ritual sacrifice.
Yes.
Not just some sick murder. And the reason why it has similarities in the opposite side of the country, in California, is because it's the same group on similar days for similar Sabbaths.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Pat S. brings up, he says, see the Cleveland torso killer, Loki. Sounds somewhat similar. And a few years later, that's exactly what one of the suspects, they go over in this, right here, Cleveland torso murder. One such suspect was the Cleveland torso murder put forward by some of Cleveland's law enforcement who worked on the case and crime reporters. The Cleveland torso murders took place between 1934 and 38 and remain unsolved. However, unlike the murder of Elizabeth Short, the Cleveland torso murder's victim's cause of death was often dismemberment or decapitation, and the bodily mutilations, particularly the castration of males, seemed to be part of the dismemberment process.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, some of his victims were coated in chemical agents, probably a preservative. This meant the murderer kept some of the body parts for a period of time, unlike Elizabeth Short's killer. Despite surface similarities then, the similarity of the cases is quite lacking. Not to mention there is no hard evidence linking either one. So there's a grand jury investigation in 1949 to solve the Black Dahlia murders. The Madera Tribune, number 55, issued on 7 September 1949, reported on the reconvening of the LA grand jury in order to sift through potentially related murders, highlighting the difficulty the LA Police Department faced solving such murders. They also sifted through the complicated web of suspects in the Black Dahlia case, including Leslie Dillon and George Hodell. Leslie Dillon was a formerly employed bellhop at a Los Angeles hotel. Wonder what hotel that was. Who was interestingly once a mortician's assistant. Aha! Aha! Dillon was said to have somewhat of a morbid imagination, and his eager fascination was focused on the Black Dahlia case. Dillon even wrote letters to LA Police Department police psychiatrist Dr. DeRiver, theorizing about the case because of his supposed fascination with sadism. Dillon even mentioned that he thought the killer would have killed Miss Short in a motel room, as is discussed in length in Black Dahlia Red Rose by Pugh et Eatwell. I hope I said that right. Some rather damning circumstantial evidence came to light that a somewhat seedy motel, Astor Motel, was found to have one of its rooms drenched in blood. Witnesses described the walls, bathroom, and bed sheets covered in blood. It was quite clear that someone had died there only a mile away from where Elizabeth Short's body was dumped. Forensic evidence also suggested the presence of blood under the room's floor tiles by a police chemist in 1949. Despite the buildup of circumstantial evidence relating Leslie Dillon to the murder, he was never charged for the murder. This was partly due to the hasty interrogations of the police psychiatrist, who was quite certain he had the right man. This resulted in Dillon suing the police department in 1950. Secondly, Dillon had a number of people come forward to provide alibis. However, they were considered somewhat unreliable. Lastly, Dillon accused a former acquaintance, Jeff Connors, of the murder, stating that he knew a man who would be capable of the murder. However, Connors denied his involvement in the murder, stating Dillon's attempt to implicate him was ridiculous, further suggesting he was absolutely innocent. Interestingly, Dillon stated that Connors gave him inside information about the murder. However, Connors denied involvement and stated that he didn't know where Dillon got his information. The implication being Dillon committed the crime, especially because he provided police with information they kept secret. Or he was making it up. On the other hand, Connors may be lying. Usually when you know something that the police didn't put in the story, you're either very, very good at what you do because you can make that assumption that this is where this case is going, or you had something to do with the crime. Despite being in the same bar as the night Elizabeth Short was murdered, making Connors a prime suspect, he too provided an alibi where he stated he was with a girlfriend, Dorothy Cahoon, the night of Miss Short's murder. Stating that he knew the Black Dahlia by sight probably places Connors as the most likely suspect, but for Dillon to know this and implicate him is also suspicious. It is perhaps impossible to tell who could have done it now. Dillon and Connors had a reputation of being somewhat less than reputable. Either one could be lying, or they're both involved somehow. That is a picture of George Hodell. Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they couldn't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead. Steve Hodell, George Hodell's son and now retired LAPD homicide detective, has spent perhaps the last 16 years investigating the Black Dahlia case under the impression that his father was the killer. According to Alexis Sobel, Fitz writing for The Guardian in 2016, Steve Hodell has not been the only person to accuse her own father was the murder of Elizabeth Short. Janice Knowlton also accused her own father of the same crime. However, unlike Steve Hodell, Janice Knowlton does not have a background in criminal investigation, which perhaps puts more weight to his claims.
Can I stop for just a sec?
What?
Can I stop you for just a sec?
Yep.
I suddenly became worried about Lady Mist. You know, it would be easy to be a serial killer if you randomly murdered people you have no connection with and did your killing far from home and had long gaps between your killing sprees. That seems like somebody who you thought about it too much, Lady Mist. I'm now Lady of the Void. All right, makes sense. Okay, sorry.
So, if you traveled, if your main job was traveling, and you did this maybe 2-3 times a year, you know the area because you've been there over and over and over again because you travel to that area over and over and over again for work. I'm going to shut up now because, yeah, I'm sure there are people out there going, I wonder what Loki's been up to. Him and Lady Mist are really buddy all the time. So, yes. Smiles. We're just normal people. Hi.
Yeah, she works in the medical field.
So I try and check on this. I try and check on this every year or two, going through any additions to this. I heard about this when I was in my 20s, and it's always something that has surprised me. And every once in a while, something new will pop up, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, this person got accused. I wonder why." And it's just something I look into, like I said. And I figured it would be a cool little way to share something neat with y'all that I have been into for a long time. So normal people are the ones we need to look out for. That's all we've got for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we talked about tonight. Thank you, Adega. Absolutely. Yes, I work in the medical field, but I always try and save lives.
Shifty eyes going on there.
Pat S says, I bet a lot of serial killers are truckers, but not you, Speaker for the Dead. You're good people.
Speaker knows where you live.
As long as you tell the story right. Tell the story right. That's right. Adega, 14.7 pounds.
I'm sorry. That one eludes me.
Brian Dawes says, the crazy return to the show for me after hanging with Stephen King on Audible the last month. Well played, Loki and Adega. We try our best. We absolutely try our best. Guys, we're out of here. We'll be back next week. I'm going to leave you guys with one last preview of Adega's book. Do not forget, at the end of this month, this will be out for your reading pleasure. Oh my God, not yet. For your reading pleasure, this is a commercial for the Blood Witch. I absolutely cannot wait to get my hardback copy. Until we come back next week, we're gonna have a weekend review with Day Bob, and hopefully Starry Girl's gonna make it in the morning. I'm hoping. I haven't heard back from her, but we hope. But until next week, take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter, especially when you got a knife in your hand. And we will catch you guys next time.
See ya.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.
Wait, you got pickles. You hate pickles.